15 years ago, an Italian artist named Fabio Capone dreamed of making a game that captured the soul of beautiful, whimsical films like Spirited Away and Castle in the Sky. Now that dream is close to finding form in Baldo, a new action-adventure that manages to be equal parts Wind Waker and Studio Ghibli. IGN recently had a chance to go hands-on with this whimsical new adventure, and what we found more than lived up to its beautiful visuals. In Baldo, you take on the role of a young villager adventuring through a lush world filled with talking animals and trap-filled dungeons. In a separate interview, Capone expressed his admiration for the style of Studio Ghibli, the famous Japanese animation studio that has done so much to define this style. I love Studio Ghibli and Ponok's style, so this art direction was an easy choice for me. I knew I had to make something like that. It's something I always wanted to do, Capone told Red Bull in 2019. Capone's inspiration takes the form of a rich anime fantasy painted in vibrant watercolors. Its cel-shaded characters looking as if they would fit right in with Ni no Kuni, itself an adventure produced in collaboration with Studio Ghibli. It's framed in a fixed isometric perspective, with foreground elements such as trees and chains being used to lend the visuals depth. It makes for some wonderfully detailed environments, enticing you to delve deeper and deeper into its expansive world. It also bears a strong resemblance to The Legend of Zelda, specifically the Wind Waker and Breath of the Wild. While there are plenty of discrete differences, Zelda fans will nevertheless feel right at home with Baldo's quirky NPCs and magical Guardian's Horn, which bears a suspicious resemblance to Zelda's famous ocarina. Baldo even has a talking owl to spur its hero to adventure. Where it differs is mainly in the way that it brings these two elements together. We've had Ghibli games and we've had Zelda games, but we've never really had a Ghibli Zelda game. Baldo manages to make the combination feel seamless, its art and design demonstrating a clear understanding of what makes these two individual properties work on their own, as well as how they can fit together. And while it clearly borrows from Breath of the Wild, just look at the minimap, fans will be happy to know that Baldo's dungeons are very much in the old school mold of the series. Even the first dungeon, which takes place on an abandoned pirate ship, is a dense multi-level affair that would fit perfectly in Wind Waker or Skyward Sword. Its puzzles are relatively simple to start, usually requiring that you move a crate or throw a pot at a switch to advance, but they still demand a certain amount of spatial awareness, as some of them can extend over multiple rooms. Later, they become much more complicated. Once you're in the wide world, Baldo begins to open up, inviting you to take on numerous side quests as you get to know its colorful array of NPCs. In total, Baldo will have about 11 dungeons with more than 50 additional owl towers, smaller scale dungeons similar to Breath of the Wild shrines. In that sense, Baldo may unite the best halves of both Zelda experiences. It's more than just a Zelda clone though. Speaking with IGN before the preview, Capone pointed to Monkey Island as a major influence, as well as more obscure games like Robin of the Wood. Baldo will have branching paths, dead ends, and secret rooms, and some of the dungeons won't even give you a weapon. Players will have to face a dungeon without knowing what to expect, Capone said. Whatever Baldo's inspiration, it all adds up to an intriguing and massive adventure spanning close to 50 hours. A labor of love that also has the potential to be so much more. For more on Baldo, check out the official gameplay trailers, and for everything you need to know about the rest of the video game world, stick with IGN.